Welcome, dear listeners and galaxy explorers. Do you feel which zodiac jumps out of the glass today?
You see our hands in gloves actually. They didn't fit, but hey, never mind.
Because yes, they fulfill their purpose, being mysterious, tension-building and shiny. Just like the multiverse. And yes, this video is long, but this is a 1 in a million heart and soul project. Jupiter says there will be no other video like that, so don't stress yourself just because of the length. You don't have to listen to this all at once. You're free to go chapter by chapter just at your own pace and time.
And have you felt it?
So, we're setting out to find whatever this key unlocks?
No. If we don't have the key, we can't open whatever we don't have what it unlocks. So, what purpose would be served in finding whatever need to be unlocked, which we don't have, without first having found the key, what unlocks it?
So, we're setting out to find this key.
Now you're not making any sense at all. Okay, peeps, before we go into it, keep in mind that this is a very general collection. Don't be afraid, don't be mad or sad if the ASTRO typology and the following reading do not resonate with you. This collection is meant for you all, so it's totally okay if some of you do not feel the energies of the cards or the words. At least we are all individuals with an individual set of energies coming from all kinds of sources, but all of them connected, because we are one. I want to ask you to just open the doors of your heart and your mind in order to combine them with your incredible inner light into united, unconditional love. And if it feels right to you, dare to go through that united door.
Always choose love and don't let your fears shade your open doors. Because love is a divine open door shining directly through your heart, ready to accompany you on your own unique path.
Ladies and gents, fasten your seatbelt. Destination, standard information.
Our amusing as well as communicative Gemini with their many faces and never-ending inner restlessness. Their time starts with the 21st of May and ends on the 21st of June. Gemini represents and catches all the facets and colors spring brings with it. Gemini's richness of facets is therefore no coincidence. Gemini's gender is male, and with that he comes with lots of handicraft skills and ingenuity. Gemini's season is spring, which is why ambition, sociability, and spirit of discovery are no foreign words for him. With the spring energy, it is no wonder that his primary color is yellow. His opposite zodiac sign is the freedom-loving but manipulative Sagittarius.
Ladies and gents, are you ready to continue with the destination ruler planet? Gemini is ruled by his ruler planet Mercury, as Mercury stands for versatility and intransigent thoughts. There is no other planet which fits better to our Gemini. Other Gemini characteristics which are influenced by Mercury are that he often tends to travel on multiple tracks. A little side note for you, Mercury is being ruled by Hermes, the historical Greek god of traders, thieves and travelers. And let us at that point not forget that Hermes is also being called the divine trickster. Okay, now it is completely clear why Gemini is such a talent in communication, isn't it? A tiny little question for you. What is the first thing that comes into your mind when thinking about spring? The first thing we think about is the clean, refreshing air, which boosts the energy of every single cell in our bodies. One feels alive, filled with new ideas and thirst for action. Some of you might already know until now, Gemini's element is air, and air represents emotions, feelings, sensitivity, and fertility.
Ladies and gents, next destination, Ascendant.
Okay, wait a second. Until now we have talked a lot about, let's say, pure Geminis. But there are of course many other zodiac signs out there. And these zodiac signs might have its ascendant in Gemini. And for those lucky people, this means feelings, sensibility, fertility, as well as knowledge, but also informing yourself, collecting and selecting that knowledge.
Ladies and gents, we are going to the stars. Next destination, star constellation and numerology ranking.
Gemini's star constellation is 35 light years away from Earth, and 1 light year corresponds to 9.46 trillion kilometers. Funny side fact here, this makes Gemini being the closest star constellation of all the signs of the zodiac to the Earth. Every other zodiac is farther away. You could almost say Gemini was a down-to-earth zodiac. A little reminder for you, the brilliantly bright constellation can be sighted from December to March. So if you catch a cloud-free night in these months, we wish you lots of fun searching for Gemini in the night sky. And in the numerology ranking, Gemini occupies number 5, the free spirit, impatience, and impulsive acting.
Ladies and gents, what about the personality? Next destination, personality.
In our last destination, we have talked a lot about the basic facts of our Gemini, but let us look closer now. Gemini's task in life is to master challenges again and again and to overcome them without major damage. Major damage, you think now? Yeah, that's our Gemini. It's not that easy for him. Due to their recklessness, one or the other thing can go to pieces. And that does not only mean objects, this also includes all kinds of relationship levels. Keeping with their motto?
Try it out, but don't commit right away.
And because of that, it is not uncommon for the Gemini that he must often start right again from the beginning. And although it's not always easy to start over, they always embrace the new as if it's all happening for the first time. They're absolutely enthusiastic. They are true comeback fighters. Does that remind you of someone? Captain America, almost 70 years captured and ice, but still a true soldier and patriot like nothing ever happened. Funny coincidence that Chris Evans is a Gemini. That fits just perfectly.
Ladies and gents, do you know who is talking to you? Destination, the many faces.
Geminis know very well about their nature. They know that they seem inscrutable to other people, but at the same time, their open nature puts people in a kind of dilemma, because this kind is already somehow ambivalent. How can someone be inscrutable, but at the same time so amusing? That's just our Gemini. No other sign of the zodiac can deal with its many faces and facets as skillfully as a Gemini do. They virtually juggle with their many different facets and therefore seem unpredictable to others. In fact, you never really know what will come next. This can be exciting for some, but exhausting for others, because they perceive this as unreliability and arbitrariness. But please don't think that a Gemini will always disappoint you with his many faces. If he captured you deeply in his heart, and if there is a relationship on the basis of respect for each other, then a Gemini would do everything he can to protect you, no matter what. Remind yourself that a Gemini can be a real patriot. But what else should they do instead? After all, they know about their kind, and that is exactly what is often more a burden than a pleasure for our already ambivalent Geminis. So they of course use their abilities. They turn their incredibly strong communication skills and mental flexibility in such a skillfully way that their burden becomes a virtue. Geminis could never do without these admirable qualities. This is their driving force. If they had not been endowed with this by nature, the Gemini would probably not always be able to start right again from the beginning. Everything mentioned before is, and this must be clear, a development which evolves in the matter of time. All the younger Gemini people who are wondering now about the qualities mentioned before should be told, don't put yourself under pressure if this doesn't work out yet. Your life experience will help you. One or the other may wander longer or shorter in the dark, but even they will find their way. Give yourselves the time you need.
Ladies and gents, now we are visiting your inner circle. Destination, friends and family.
Of course, family, friends, and even the workplace play an incredibly important role. In younger years, it is really not easy at all for the Gemini to make sincere friendships and acquaintances. Geminis are constantly on the road, do always meet new people and have many people around them, but that does not necessarily mean anything in the matter of true bonds. Because the Gemini unfortunately tends to trust too quickly and steps right in the middle of the puddle many times. No wonder that our Gemini often has to start again and again from the beginning. Only stable family structures can give them support. However, if they don't have that, it can be really hard for Geminis. In that case, Geminis can actually only hope to make long-lasting and sincere friendships already in children's age. Of course, the Geminis will not yet fully understand this bond mentally in infancy, but at an advanced age, Geminis will appreciate true relationships very much, so that they will even be willing to go into the fire for them anyways. So if they have established structures, whether in family or among friends, then they want to hold on to them. Even if our Gemini would never say this directly, they know exactly that this firmness is elementary for them to balance their inner conflict and not to lose their hold.
Ladies and gents, are you ready? We are going to expand. Destination, free spirit.
Our restless Gemini will not be found for long in places or with people where they do not feel that they have arrived. These people will then usually claim that the Gemini always just wants to be on the road and can never hold on for a second. But other people from whom our Gemini get their support will say, yes, the Gemini is a free spirit, but he's an Epicurean and a totally tolerant and open-minded conversation partner. If one would confront both sides, they would never agree, because both sides simply experience the completely different sides of the Gemini. And that is exactly what our Gemini embodies. No one can accept from a Gemini that he lives just a one-faced life. If you like to be in a relationship with a Gemini, no matter if on a friendship level or in a partnership, you have to accept the different faces of the Gemini. Then it can also happen that some things seem to be contradictory, but that's nothing a Gemini does for bad reasons. He is just multifaceted, and even he himself has to live with that, thanks to Mercury.
Yeah, no problem. If I wouldn't give Gemini these qualities, which other sign of the zodiac would show the world that you can live with more than one face or even personality? One tip from my side, use it as a gift or a power and not as a disadvantage or obstacle.
Thank you, Mercury. Wise words.
My pleasure. But now I have to go. Virgo already waits for me. See you soon.
Ladies and gents, your eyes do not always tell you what's right or wrong. Next destination, first impression.
Okay, let's go back on track. We have already analyzed that Gemini has a multi-dimensional personality. But what about his appearance? What about his first impression? As we can already tell you, Gemini has a smooth handshake and mostly soft as well as clear facial features, which others perceive as attractive. They like to wear... Gemini? Are you here with me?
I'm here.
Please tell me, what do you like to wear?
Thanks for your question. After Mercury was asked to say something, I have just waited here for my first performance. But to go back to your question, I like alternative, creative clothes. I love to combine them without appearing put upon. Some say I can do that very skillfully. But for private purposes, I like it rather cozy, with style, but just casual. Or even sporty, but never sloppy. On special occasions, I also have no problem wearing what other people would call it unusual clothes.
Thank you, Gemini, for your little reporting about yourself.
You're welcome. Looking forward for your next question.
Don't worry, I'll come back to you soon. As you see, Geminis are versatile. You could almost say that in every clothing, there is always the corresponding inner essence of the Gemini. We now know that it is completely normal that people always perceive Gemini in different ways, and also that our Geminis consciously play with that. They are true shapeshifters.
Ladies and gents, what is fascinating to you? Destination, free time.
When being on the topic of playing, Geminis love to play board games with good friends or their family. Board games, as we know, require lots of strategic skills and sometimes even a poker face. Let's think back for a second. Which god rules Mercury again? Yes, Hermes, the historical Greek god of traders, thieves, and travelers, the divine trickster. Now we see the similarities, right? But there are not just games for the mind which they love. They do also like sports, basketball, ping pong, or baseball matches. So of course, it's not uncommon that Gemini's favorite subject in school times is sports. You could almost say that sports is being used as a source of frustration reduction by our Gemini. And yet, they always remain enthusiastic and have lots of fun. As great as sports was for them in their youth, they are also Epicureans, and food is also a great passion.
Oh yes, it is. I love food.
We didn't ask anything yet, Gemini.
Oh yes, sorry. I just lost a bit of control. That's my favorite topic today. But go on. I'll not interrupt you again.
Okay, thanks, Gemini. We understand when it's about food, we can't also help it. Okay. Dear listeners, let's go back to the track. In addition, their refrigerator must always be well filled with everything possible. After all, they might suddenly crave for something and then they must be able to prepare it directly without having to go shopping first. They love good food, as we have heard a second ago. And food And food can also be multifaceted for our Geminis. Starting with a hearty Indian meal, it can end with a delicious cappuccino cream cake and some coffee. Our Gemini's happy about that. Okay, but back to sports. Some Geminis keep their love for sports their whole life and then also do not really gain weight. The other Geminis become a little more leisurely and then gain some weight on their ribs, as they say. But this does not detract from their attractiveness, especially since our Gemini is able to balance that with their communication skills and their eloquence. Speaking of coziness, naturally things have to be relaxed on vacation too. Package vacations are not their thing. It can be sun and sea, but never crammed with any obligatory excursions. Geminis love their independence, no matter in which area of their life. Of course, it often happens that they can't decide between the many possibilities. Even that is no wonder again. When looking at Mercury, the ruler planet, remember, Hermes, the historical Greek god of traders, thieves, and travelers. Focus on travelers. Yeah, when being influenced by the Greek god of travelers, it must be really hard to decide between all the possibilities which are given nowadays. Are we right, Gemini?
Oh, yes, you are. Traveling is one of the things I can do best. And I am always the one who's planning it. Even if I plan it, most of the time I decide spontaneously, according to my mood. I am very flexible, so for me it is no big deal to say, come on, let's buy a boat and explore the sea.
Oh, cool. We see you are always good for surprises, aren't you?
Yeah.
So, please, dear listeners, sometimes things might go very fast with Gemini, but just let them do their thing. They know what they're doing.
Ladies and gents, what about the money? Destination, finances.
When it comes to Gemini's money and finances, just letting them do is not always a good idea. Not always, because, as we know now, our Geminis are mentally versatile.
Wait, what? Just mentally? Even the pizza falls out of my hand. Haven't you ever seen a Gemini and his skills in shapeshifting? We cannot just switch our personal state from one second to another, but also our exterior appearance. Just like professional actors, we can switch into roles and passionately play them.
Oh, yes, I see. When thinking about it, just one more second, it gets completely clear. And later, dear listeners, when we name you some popular Gemini people, then you will know exactly what our Gemini just told us now. Okay, note, Geminis do not all tick the same. You will never be able to pigeonhole Geminis. That is a clear fact. And this fact does also have its own effects on finances. Some have it, some not. Others are too generous and spend more than they should, and others are able to save large sums. Gemini's multidimensional facets are reflected in all matters of their lifetime.
Ladies and gents, is your heart talking to you? Destination, love.
What a dynamic and unique topic when talking about Geminis. In our last destinations, we have talked a lot about their many facets, and we continue like this. Gemini's wealth in facets is excessively infectious, what can drive many to despair. Desperation because our flirt masters and mistresses are burdened with the glorious gift to draw the beloved ones completely under their spell, actually downright to devour. They are true flirt masters and collectors, and mostly the males act even as real gentlemen. That's why one or the other can always remain faithful. The temptations are simply far too tempting, but they are very picky. Not everyone makes it to the arms of a Gemini. Unfortunately, their motto,
Try it out, but don't commit,
comes into play here as well.
Ladies and gents, what do you do for your living? Destination, career.
Keyword commitment. In their professional life, they give everything they have. They are absolutely reliable and determined, but with one important an inescapable condition. You, dear Gemini, know about that. Please tell us more.
Sure. As we now talk about jobs, I can tell you, we Geminis always need to be on the road. We just love being outside. Being self-employed is therefore a thing for us. But unless we are not, we must absolutely need to have our own decision-making powers, even as an employee. If not, we go crazy very quickly and think of quitting the job. And mostly it doesn't take us a lot of time to do so.
All right. So it can be assumed sitting in the office and answering mails, etc. is not your thing at all.
Absolutely not. We get sick of that.
Thank you, Gemini. We do absolutely understand that you need some variety in your life in order not to die because of boredom. As our intelligent and very flexible Geminis get tired of boredom, they absolutely need constant input and challenges. This is their personal spiritual food. And just like this, you can find Geminis in professions like author, craftsman, pilot, train driver, sportsman, cook, actor, musician, artist. They simply must always see and experience something different, something new, be free, or at least feel free. If that is given, you don't really need to worry anymore. But of course, there are lots of professions which we have not mentioned, but still give our flexible Gemini the variety and challenge they need. Can you think of some more professions and tell our listeners what is special about it?
Sure, why not? There's one thing that just pops up in my head. For a Gemini, the profession of searching for unknown and hidden things, study these things scientifically and making them being published so that everyone knows about the fantastic multiverses. Well, to make a long story short, you can call me an explorer and scientist, but not just for the material things, but also the non-material, like thoughts, spirits, and souls.
Thank you, dear Gemini.
Thank you too.
You're welcome.
Ladies and gents, let's go deeper into the personality. Destination, inscrutable, but cosmopolitan.
The motto, just letting them do their thing, also applies in the matters of their multiple talents. Earlier, we have mentioned that our Geminis are always good for surprises. Surprises? Not always in the sense of gifts.
Which do in fact also play a role sometimes. But, right, not exclusively. But getting to know new stuff is so exciting.
Ladies and gents, there was the young Gemini speaking. You only get to know the many facets of a Gemini when you spend a longer time with them, when they have gained trust and you really let them have their own way. We know, we repeat that over and over again, but unfortunately Geminis have to struggle with this almost their whole lives because when firstly interacting with Geminis, prejudices are pre-programmed. As already described at the beginning, that's because they seem inscrutable and amusing at the same time to others. Inscrutable because people do not always know which Gemini face they are talking to, and mostly this is also what Geminis intend to reach. Many people perceive this as unreliable and dishonest. Amusing because Geminis tend to have a unique humor and a charming way to interact with people. This combination creates disbelief so that one hardly trusts them. One thing we have to clarify is that a Gemini is not always and forever a jumper between one place and another. Once they find themselves consolidated, they are very family bound. They are artistically incredibly gifted, can sing and dance, are fluent in several languages and more. They incredibly like to read a lot and have their own amazing library at home. They have books and magazines from everywhere. This again shows the versatility and open-mindedness for a Gemini and their thirst for knowledge. In order to learn new things about unknown places, they would first, as flexible and open-minded they are, intend to visit that place. But as long as they do not have the opportunity to travel, they just read about everything they need to know in order to quench their thirst. It's no wonder that with Gemini, you can really talk about everything and anything as well as far beyond. There will hardly be anything that the Geminis would label as absurd. For them, everything is possible at any time. So whoever has not dared to have extensive conversations with Gemini born so far, for whatever reason, should give it a try. For Gemini, nothing is bizarre. And that is why they will try to make connections in everything. They are quick thinkers and can link abstract things in their minds without much effort.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Of course you can.
It sounds very nice how you talk about my abilities, but every other sign of the zodiac is also able to think complexly and create links just like I do. Don't you think that too?
Yes, absolutely, no question. However, Geminis were born with this ability. When it comes to mental abilities, no one can fool a Gemini. And the sympathetic thing is, as your little comment also states, they would never brag about it, nor even intimidated when they are being praised for one of their skills.
Ladies and gents, more interaction is coming. Destination: social interaction with other zodiac signs.
Today we got to know our multifaceted Gemini, but now the question is, who can cope with our Gemini and who cannot? In love, Aquarius is clearly in the first place. Aquarius and Gemini meet each other at eye level. They love each other's quick as well as abstract ways of thinking, virtually enjoy the input of mental crosslinks, and are happy about what comes out of it. That is simply a match which can last a whole life. And although they are well aware of the seriousness of life, these zodiac signs carry their inner child with them all their lives, which makes communication and interaction between these two immensely easier. If others observe a conversation between these zodiac signs, they will be surprised about the rapid change and choice of topics. In terms of love, only Libra and Sagittarius can keep up. One must add, however, that Libra is very, very independent and could sometimes intimidate our already internally torn Geminis with their self-confidence. With Sagittarius and his unreliability and volatility, this could become a problem. For our otherwise so free-spirited and open-minded Gemini, this could possibly have a deterrent effect. Our Gemini free spirits hardly get along with Cancer, Virgo and Taurus. Yes, our Geminis have the gift to cast a spell on people. These three zodiac signs are not protected from this either. They are even totally prone to it, but they are much too clingy and settled for our free spirits. This sounds almost negative, but not at all. It's all down to the Gemini. They can become settled at an advanced age, but until then, they need people around them for a long time who will just let them do their thing. Otherwise, they will simply disappear from the face of the earth. Depending on which perspective you are looking at this from, you will get rid of a Gemini quickly. If you cause a fight out of nowhere or want to pin them down. So, if you don't want to get rid of a Gemini involuntarily or accidentally, you'd better not do such kind of things. Gemini, please give us another example. What puts you off?
Oh, there are several things that really drive me crazy. I just cannot stand it if there are people who always contact me all day long and just do not stop to distract me. Oh, horrible. Let me add something else. It's terrifying for me if people hand me over their responsibility for something, especially when I just told them beforehand that I can't give any guarantees. It's not because I don't want to, it's just the fact that, it's hard enough to deal with my own responsibilities, so please just keep up with it on your own and do not bother me with that. I do always help if my people need me, but I'm not to be exploited.
In terms of friendship, they also get along well with Aquarius. Between them, it may remain at a friendship basis, but often these signs are very attracted to each other, so that here a love relationship develops quickly.
Hey there, you just forgot about me. Gemini and
Ladies and gents, Scorpio gets hysterical.
I'm always hysterical because Gemini and I are best buddies. Gemini, tell them. Hi Scorpio, right. We have a really great friendship based on respect, openness, being a bit hysterical sometimes together, and of course lots of fun.
Oh my goodness. Okay, no reason to panic, Scorpio. We didn't forget about you. Yes, Gemini and Scorpio have a very intimate friendship. They can talk for hours with each other because they do understand the unique things which are going on in their heads. Therefore, they have a big understanding for each other in almost everything. But they also do not hesitate to be very direct. Even when the truth hurts sometimes, they are very honest with one another.
You got that. In love terms, you have mentioned that I do not get along very well with Sagittarius, but I have to say that friendship works out quite good with us.
Yes, it does. We are quite similar in many things. We are freedom lovers. We would love to travel the world 24/7 and do not like doing the same thing for too long. Oh, sorry, my flight goes in 30 minutes. I need to go. Was nice being here. Bye.
Sagittarius, is your flight coming back from space to Earth now, or why does your voice sound so muffled? Okay, but never mind. We continue. You two always by leaps and bounds. No one can hold you. Okay, before we are being attacked by Leo, let's add him as well to the list.
Yes, we're also good friends. Crazy personalities get along with crazy personalities, right?
Exactly. We are looking forward to meet your friends as well in the next videos. Let's see, maybe you can come along as a special guest.
Of course! I'll always be there for my friends.
Okay, dear listeners. Now you know with whom our Gemini gets along with best. And you also know exceptions confirm the rule. Other zodiac signs are not excluded. Friendships can always work out well as long as respect is a part of it.
That is truly right, but I must admit that there are signs of the zodiac with which I have some troubles. It's not always easy to get along with everyone.
Yeah, that's right. But people forget how normal it is not to love everyone and being loved by everyone. That is okay. Everyone is an individual with its own characteristics, and some of the characteristics are loved by the ones and unloved by the others. With Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo, our free spirits don't get along best. These signs would pin down our Geminis much too much. They just follow their own clear lines, which they would and could never abandon because it is just in their nature. And as with all other signs of the zodiac, exceptional relationships are always possible. As we know, exceptions confirm the rule.
Señoras y señores, el destino último de celebridades.
¡Ay! And finally, just as promised, we have some famous Gemini-born people for you. And I'm sorry if I do not pronounce all the names correctly, but I try my best. So let us start with Johnny Depp, Helena Bonham Carter, Jamie Oliver, John F. Kennedy, Marilyn Monroe, Zoe Saldana, John Wayne, Chris Pratt, Courtney Cox, Philippa Sue, Queen Victoria, Lenny Kravitz, Heidi Klum, Bonnie Tyler, Mark Wahlberg, Nicole Kidman, Michael J. Fox, Neil Patrick Harris, Kylie Minogue, Bob Dylan, Paul McCartney, Clint Eastwood, Steffi Graf, Tom Holland, Morgan Freeman, Prince Philip, Lana Del Rey, Anne Frank, Judy Garland, Richard Wagner, Stan Laurel, Isabella Rossellini, Blaise Pascal, Daniel G. Fahrenheit, Chris Evans, and of course, many, many more.
Before we move forward, I want to ask you to set the intention to connect to the cards with your open heart, your intuition, and your beautiful inner light. Now put your attention fully to the brightness of your unique light, doesn't matter which color it has, and bring your wonderful light right into your open heart so that you're able to feel the sensation of unconditional love. First of all, even before seeing the cards, just while shuffling them, I already sensed their kinda crazy chattiness. Okay, but let's go into it. For me, it seems as if your journey is all about learning and experiencing, but less the others. It's more the learning and experiencing process of yourself, to learn who you really are and to dive deep into yourself in order for you to now be aware of not only your gifts, talents, and skills, but especially to look very deep into your darkest areas within yourself, which you maybe think you can hide, but you can't really. The energies of Hermes and the ruler planet Mercury are all about communication, traveling, and trade. So maybe for others, it seems as if you talk like an ever-repeating chatterbox, and by that you sometimes unconsciously overwhelm them, and yourself too, by the way. Because Hermes has to be on track and has to have strong communication skills for his trade negotiations. And Mercury strengthens his skills so that Hermes is always able to be mentally fluid. This makes him, and therefore also you, a really fast thinker and communicator. jumping from topic to topic, just like a monkey swinging from branch to branch, which makes you the perfect example of a restless monkey mind. This co-connection between Hermes and Mercury might have helped you on your way to become exactly that, so that you finally and hopefully become aware of your unique communication skills and how to use them wisely without overwhelming others, and taking care of not being too tough, demanding, or paranoid. So now, with all the self-reflection through Gemini and the additional energies of Capricorn, you are hopefully now able to stay a bit more down to earth. It seems as if this is now an urgent need for you, because Capricorn can help you now to juggle your buried out abilities. Stay grounded by doing so and simultaneously sustaining your humor and creativity. By being consciously aware of the Capricorn energies which are open for you now, you have the great chance to bend your strong, airy being, to be fluid, but at the same time, being able to stay grounded is a beautiful gift to have. But it's not just that is beautiful, because when you now profoundly look closer, you might see that you have built a perfect circumstances for you to take any upcoming responsibility and to use your collected wisdom wisely, kindly, and gently for the highest good of all. The sun energy seems to be the perfect companion for your future. The strong energies of the sunlight can hopefully support you on your path. The sun helps you to activate your source energies by consciously being aware of the fact that you are not the middle of everything, to be able to hold yourself back from being too fast and break everything down by being too much of a Hermes. No, I don't make a bad picture of Hermes here, but it seems as if it is a better way to always remind yourself that too much of anything can be destructive, even if you maybe have good intentions. Keep in mind that Hermes brings a lot of strong communication and trade skills with him, but he is also very cunning after all. Don't be tricked by the divine trickster. Oh, I have to think about Loki now. What do you think, Jess?
That's very tricky.
Okay, let's continue. You see, it seems as if it is a need for you to always reflect yourself from the grounded state of Capricorn. The only thing that the Starseed card adds here is that you don't have to be in a hurry, just as Hermes. You really don't have to be. It's okay to take a break, to hold on for a moment, to just breathe. You have any time you need, you can take any time you need. Time is not running out for you. Again, just breathe, dear Gemini peep.
Please, Mr. Jailer, won't you let my man go free? So, we hope we could give you not just a marathon, but also an overall collective and detailed insight into the many worlds of our today's zodiac. And we're glad that you were with us until the very, very end. And the fact that you took your time to connect and to be with us on this whole journey today really means a lot to us.
And naturally, you are very welcome to leave your thoughts and intuitions, or if you like, even your emotions in the comment section. This all and to see where you are all coming from is for us very fascinating to know. Where are my Astro Soul peeps?
And do not forget, if life gives you lemons,
Be creative, do something good for your heart, your soul, and your body. Be your own alchemist.
and make a lemon cheesecake.
You said it.